Welcome back, and it's time for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me right now is LPL Financial Chief Global Strategist Quincy Crosby and Markowski Investments President Chris Markowski. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for being here. Quincy, I want to kick things off with you with the market that is bouncing this morning on the final trading day of the third quarter after yesterday's destruction, and value destruction has been the word of the day. Do you think today's move is sustainable, or are we just bouncing after that sharp sell-off yesterday? And what are you expecting in terms of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Maria, I think this is a bounce. I don't think it's going to be sustainable. We still have to get through the earnings season, at least hearing what companies have to say. What is their guidance? And the other thing is we've got to hear from the Fed, because today, as you pointed out, you get the inflation report at 8:30 this morning. It's going to be important, I think, for the trading for the rest of the day as to whether or not the Fed's ability to fight inflation is actually working. You heard from Amazon, they're raising wages. Where's that going to lead to?
What's happening at Amazon?
Amazon is raising wages for drivers and warehouse workers, $19 an hour. Somewhere along the line, Amazon is going to try to pass that cost along to the prime Amazon holders and or the companies that are on their platform. They're not going to eat that cost, and that feeds inflation.
Well, it's a good point that you're making, because Joe Biden claims that he's got a tentative agreement with the rail companies, and in that agreement, there's a 24% raise for the rail workers. We still haven't heard the vote on the rail workers, but I'm wondering if he just put a pin in it until after the midterm elections. And once other unions start recognizing that he's just agreeing and the management are agreeing to a 24% raise, are they going to get on the picket lines? But you're right, Chris. Quincy mentions the August personal consumption expenditure index, the personal income and spending, out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Chris, we've got shares of Apple falling yesterday, sparking a sell-off in the tech sector, because Apple is talking about weaker demand, and because of that weaker demand, they're going to pull back on the production of some of its new phones. Google, Microsoft down at 52-week lows. Nike this morning talking about inventory up 65%. All of this going into the profit story because we're about to get third quarter earnings. And by the way, Meta announced hiring freezes. Mark Zuckerberg is blaming the economy, warning of downsizing and restructuring, Chris. So assess all of that, because it certainly is worrisome in terms of the profit story.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, every day you open up the newspaper, it's like economic whack-a-mole. What happened over at the UK? What's happened in Germany? You get a bombing of the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. Markets don't like uncertainty, and this is why I think we're going to continue to see a hell of a lot of volatility moving forward.
Yeah, but what do you want to do as an investor, Chris? This is the final day of the third quarter. A lot of dire expectations about the macro story beginning in the fourth quarter and into 2023. So are we about to see things get real weak in a hurry?
Well, again, I've been very good over the years at picking high-quality companies and great valuations. I've never been good at market timing, and I don't know anybody actually that is. I'm a buyer of good companies. I don't even look at things in terms of stocks. I look at what types of businesses that people have, and you look at valuations. I'm big into dollar cost averaging into situations and not trying to pick bottoms in markets. Never been good at that in 30 years.
Yeah. Quincy, what about you? How are you invested in this environment?
Well, you know, we're looking at bonds again, and we're looking at the short duration bonds for investment grade. I mean, you could still get a nice return. And, you know, we're going to be looking at whether or not investors are still so afraid of what happened with the bond market earlier this year. But we think that there's going to be increasing stability in the bond market. But right now, you can pick up a very nice return just by going into that treasury market on the short end, but also investment grade. We're looking at that. Right. But also, I have to say, we like energy still. OPEC is meeting next week. They're going to try to defend their price, try to keep it at least maybe at 90, and that's going to help.
Yeah, great point. That OPEC meets next week. We'll talk about energy all week. And then, of course, the following week, the earnings period starts for the third quarter. Great to see you both. Quincy Crosby, Chris Markowski, have a good weekend. And we'll talk soon. Thanks very much.